What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and more Firelock games and Blood and Plunder content. So we have this big, and I do mean this is a big, black box here for you with no specific retail packaging on it. So this is the long-awaited, and by that I mean it took a month to get here, Galleon for Blood and Plunder. So we are super stoked to get this thing opened up and show you guys what's inside. So if you order one of these bad boys, again, this is not going to come in retail packaging. You're just going to get this generic black box, but pretty cool looking nonetheless. So this is the upper tier of ships for the game. So this thing is just absolutely mammoth, which we'll see here when we get everything opened up and sorted out. So we'll be right back as we gently and carefully get this thing open. So stay tuned. Alrighty guys, we're back and we have everything open that we get in the Galleon kit here. So as you can see, the vast majority of the space is the ship itself, and unlike the smaller ones, where obviously there's a lot of assembly with mast, rigging, sails, and all that stuff if you want to go that route, here the ship actually does have a couple of components as well. But first off, we do get our assembly guide here, so it's kind of a multi-piece one. I like that Firelock does that, just so it doesn't have to be a separate piece of paper. So this one, covers the bark, the flute. The Galleon dominates the whole other page, as you might expect, and of all the ships, of course, this is going to be the most serious challenge to tackle, just from an assembly standpoint, and getting all the masts right, the rigging, and sails. Not sure what we're going to do for all things, and we also have the fighting tops that we're going to add for this. So I said we're going to go all out on the assembly for this thing, but definitely, as with any of their ships, really, but take your damn time. Don't rush this. Make sure everything is done properly. You're obviously spending a ton of money on something of this size, so make sure you're doing a good job, because it's obviously a centerpiece. So we get our stat card as well. Galleon is obviously the biggest ship, and at least currently available, and yeah, it's just badass. Again, we'll have a separate video, again, a series actually, when we get to actually reviewing the different ships and what they all do, but it will just decimate lesser ships. You got so many different gun sections. You got the fighting tops on this thing. You got bow and stern chasers. There's umpteen different things, multiple gun decks, etc. And yeah, it can take a pounding too. So lots of potential damage that it can soak up. Plus just a ton of crew that you can put on there. So we get some MDF here for the fighting tops and some of the various little bits. So for the masts, connecting and all that, again, take your time, look at the diagram, go careful. Worst case, also reference some of the pictures on their site and online, just to make sure that you're kind of getting everything connected properly. Best bet is to sort of lay out and do the assembly in sections, right? So each of the different masts, and then the, we're probably going to name the part of the ship wrong, but the, I don't know if it's called the bowsprit or whatever, but the mast sort of that sticks out to the front. I'm sure someone in the comments will make sure that we can get that corrected. Yet again, a lot of dowel rods, so they use that for the masts, obviously a lot. You definitely want to do some test fitting, make sure everything is in the right spots, and again, lay all your stuff out in sections and assemblies. Don't rush. It's not one of those where you can do like a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. Finish, again, like one thing at a time. And just from personal experience working on different ships, it's best to go like either front to back, I think, or back to front. Don't just kind of like randomly jump around unless you are just physically limited and need the space. But different techniques for everybody too. You get plenty of string here for the rigging if you want to take that step. Not mandatory, but it does look pretty cool. It does make it a little bit more fiddly to get in between if you got a lot of figures. You get a fair bit of metal for swivels, gun ports, and cannons. And so as you can see, we're going to get a lot of that taken care of. Detail-wise, it's pretty awesome. So the front section, again, assembly stages here. So gorgeous detail there. Definitely some cleanup to do before fitting and all that. Obviously, you can kind of see what we're going to be up against there. Looking at it top down as well. So take your time. There is a fair bit of work to do on any of the resin ships. The back fighting platform too. So again, this will slide on the back here. We'll show you when we look at the main ship as well. But sorry for the shaking here. but getting the detail right. Again, as you can see from the lip of that, lots of cutting and trimming just to smooth all that out. We'll set that aside. For the back area, you got a couple different emblems that they included. I think we're probably going with this one, but you have this as well. Might save that for a smaller ship or try and incorporate that somehow. It looks pretty damn cool either way. I'll have to double check too. I want to say, given the way they're designed, we get some options as well. So we have these two like priestly looking figures. Not sure where they actually go on the ship. We'll have to reference that in a picture. And then the two lions, which I think we'll go with just because the front section kind of already incorporates that motif, and that's what we're going with on the back. But nonetheless, looks pretty damn cool. And we'll see if we can maybe save these for like a building project or something like that. And you can obviously do that with either or with the way they fit, right? So it's got that 90-degree-ish turn here. You can fit this on a building corner or fill in with some green stuff and kind of have some area, not area terrain, sorry, scatter terrain. But anyway, so a little bit of resin and stuff there. Now onto the big boy here itself in here. So just my hand also has reference, so you can see how just damn massive this ship is. So you can just about one-hand it comfortably pre-assembly, but let's see if we can try and get as much of that in the frame as possible for you guys here. Yeah, ignore the other hobby projects laying around. Oops. Whoa, whoa, whoa. So we can kind of count the cannons as we go there. Again, plenty of detail here. Looking at the bottom as well. So unlike some of the other ships, though, where it's kind of hollow on the inside and you can kind of reach in. Well, I shouldn't say it is still hollow, but the others are kind of carved in and cut in, so you can grab it from the bottom too for stability. But something to notice there. So definitely need to be careful there. So make sure you don't drop this on anything pointy. I'm not sure how well this thing would take damage. Front section for you guys here. Coming around to the other side. And I love that we have the door in the back there to exit onto the fighting compartment, which will get attached. Ugh. And there we go. That's what the back will look like. Stern chasers, fighting platform, windows, and all kinds of other goodness here. And that's where those emblems will go with, again, oops, not this guy, our two lions on that. So that, folks, is the Mighty Galleon. So again, currently the largest ship we're going to get officially from Firelock for Blood and Plunder. The 6th rate is available too, which is a also impressive ship. We have our light frigate already, but once we saw this thing at Adepticon, shout out to Joe from Blood and Pigment, also making sure that we did get this after all finally. But shout out to him for running that during the team event or the massive multiplayer event. So we got to partner up there, and yeah, just super impressive. Super impressed with how it performed, and just overall fun that will be had with this. So, but shout out to their channel, guys. If you haven't checked out Blood and Pigment, go check them out. We'll throw up a link in the video description or the pinned comment. But yeah, the Mighty Galleon, massive, massive ship. So we have a couple other ones too that we're still working on. So trying to work that into our schedule. So we do have the plastic sloop to still finish building, a regular older sloop, a brigantine, and then the Dutch ship as well. And then we'll probably consider getting a 6 rate at Gen Con just to ultimately have pretty much every ship out there. But we're going to be occupied for quite some time just prepping this. And again, resin on this stuff, right? So take your time, scrub it down, do your trimming, whatever you need to do, get it all prepped for assembly in stages, make sure it's washed, right? All that stuff so that you don't have any paint issues, primer issues, or any of that. And then depending on how you want to do it, get into assembly. And again, best to just take it in stages. If you don't have a lot of time, just work on one small section. You could do like port or starboard cannons and covers and all that, and then set it aside, work on it another day. But just take it in stages. No reason to rush unless you do want to make this kind of like an all day or most of the day hobby project, just to get it all done properly and fit and make it or looking nice as well. So let us know in the comments, guys, what you think of this big beast, and any comments from those who've got one, used one, or played against one, and just your overall thoughts on the ship as well. So, but we're going to have some fun here getting this ready for you guys, and hopefully feature in some games soon. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.